do I have a sudden urge to go buy a Neverfull? I'm not sure. Hello friends! I'm back with another little Chatty Cathy video. Before I get into my thoughts on Louis Vuitton's new Neverfull workflow, I wanted to say a huge thank you for the response on my last video. If you haven't seen it, it's about me possibly breaking up with my Hermes sales associate. There's a lot of tea that I have poured, so go check it out if you haven't. But the comments have been awesome. So much good advice, so many good thoughts. It's a shame to hear that so many of you have been through a similar thing, but it's good to know that I'm not alone. So I fear not. There were a bunch of comments saying like, please keep us posted. I certainly will. There has not been a development this week. It is my sales associate's birthday, so he's been out. So we sit here and we wait. And while we wait, we discuss Louis Vuitton. I've seen all the buzz on the interwebs about how Louis Vuitton is now implementing the quote-unquote waitlist for the Neverfull, and I want to talk about it. I assume you have all heard by now, but if you haven't, let me be the first to tell you that it seems Louis Vuitton is up to some tricks, and now the Neverfull, that is correct, you are thinking of the correct bag, the $2,000 and some change canvas tote is now waitlisted. It is placed on a pedestal alongside the likes of a Birkin, and you have to wait your turn. First, let's go over how it's going to work, and then let's talk about it. So to my understanding, the classic Neverfulls, so that means canvas bags and also empreinte leather. So your run-of-the-mill, not special edition, not like the ones that have like the city names on them, but your classic Neverfulls are now waitlist only. What does that mean? Does it mean that they're functioning like a Birkin? Yes and no. Like, you cannot just, as a mere mortal, walk into the store and get it on your own, but you have to submit your name. When one becomes available, you will be contacted and you will be given the opportunity to buy it. I think this is very interesting because it's like kind of one of the more like entry-level bags. It's one of the lower price points that Louis Vuitton offers. It's also a classic bag that I think the market is like, this might be an edgy opinion, but is a little bit saturated with at this point. And yet, it must be continuing to be popular because otherwise Louis Vuitton wouldn't have done this. So you don't have to have a pre-spend, you just go in and you say, I want to be on the wait list for this thing, and they will contact you when one is available. I imagine they have quite a surplus of them available because it probably takes about 2 seconds to make. So, especially because they are not handmade and they are canvas for the most part. So I think that people will have like success in getting them. The real question is, if there's no pre-spend and you can kind of just walk in and do your thing, how is this going to play out? Do you all think it's going to be if you don't have a spend history, you never get the call? Is it going to be if you spend a bunch on the day, they might have one for you? I kind of feel like perhaps, you let me know in the comments, but maybe what I should do is go in. I have a bag that is coming in soon, and it's a nice like high-end bag. And so when I go to pick that up and pay for it, should I try to get a Neverfull? It's so interesting, right? The psychology of this game, right? Like Birkins, Kellys, 100% of the time when someone goes, oh, do you want one of these right now? My answer is probably gonna be yes, right? A Neverfull, I don't really think I've given 2 brain cells of thought to until they limited the supply. So already it's working. Do I feel like I need to like go get one right now? No, but for the sake of science, I'm just curious how it's going to work. I have a very robust profile at Louis Vuitton, but I have never shown any interest in Neverfull. I wonder what my sales associate will do. Okay, if you guys think in the comments that I should go conduct this experiment for our learning purposes, I certainly will. I mean, I can always use an Neverfull. They're a lovely tote bag. What I really would like to discuss is, what does this mean in future, right? Like, I don't think this is it. I think this is Louis Vuitton starting to change the way that customers look at canvas pieces, right? That are historically not incredibly expensive. It's not as though they can mark them up to be like that of a Birkin, right? Because most of them are not leather. Like there's the Empreinte ones, but I think the most popular ones are the monograms. I wonder if the way this is going to go is, as people kind of accept this and the market becomes less saturated with Neverfulls, will they move into other canvas bags and start limiting that supply as well? And in so doing, do they make the canvas bag the Birkin and Kelly of Louis Vuitton? That's where I imagine this is going to go, but I mean, hear me out, guys. Will it be the Pochette Métis that gets limited next? Will it be the Alma, which I've noticed has been huge on the runway in the last season? I don't know the answer, but I'm interested in your thoughts. I talk to my sales associate quite frequently at Louis Vuitton because he is also a very good friend. And, I think that there is such a focus on their more like upscale bags in where I'm at in my like Louis Vuitton journey, if you will. Like I'm looking at exotics, I've got my ostrich moment, I've got a croc moment in the hopper. So I've not given thought to canvas in a long time. But I have a feeling there will probably be some new special editions coming out of the Neverfull because, of course, if we're taking away from the market, then we want to start introducing something that is like, oh, it's a Neverfull, but it's like a little different and no one has this one. And you have to go on the wait list to get it. These are only my predictions. So like, let me break it down for you in a nice little package. My predictions are this. I think eventually the rest of canvas will start to fall into line with this particular workflow of like, you cannot just walk in and buy it. Number two is, I think eventually there will be like an unspoken pre-spend. You won't be able to just walk in. I also think that eventually canvas will become what Birkin and Kelly is to Hermes. Canvas will become to Louis Vuitton. I'm so interested in your thoughts. Does this make you want to go buy a Neverfull? Like, I'm genuinely curious because it has admittedly sort of worked on me where now I'm giving the Neverfull more thought than I've ever given it before. Have you thought, maybe I could use one of those? Has it worked on you all as well? I don't know. It's either going to work extremely well and they're going to continue to roll it out, or it's going to flop because people can't buy in, or because everyone has a Neverfull that wants one at this point. I think Neverfulls have a place on the beach, maybe, by the pool. They're a durable bag, but I mean, like, I'm not traveling with mine. I cannot put that on an airplane. It's wide open. All of my stuff is going to just spill all over the place the minute we hit a moment of turbulence. I don't know how I see people using those all the time as like a travel bag, and I just can't get on board with it. Same with, for example, the Dior book tote. Really sturdy bag, but the minute it tips over, all of your belongings are everywhere. So not for me. But I could see the use of the Neverfull, and you can kind of like drawstring the sides a little bit. So I could justify it in the name of science if we must. This has been a very short, sweet, to the point video. Very interested in your thoughts. I will continue to report back on my experiment and see how we get along. It's a new day for Louis Vuitton. We've moved one step closer to the Hermes workflow. What does that mean for the rest of us next? That was a very short and sweet video, but as I said, I'm doing videos every Friday, and I love discussing a bit of a shakeup in the luxury world, right? Like, this is a big move for Louis Vuitton. Put in the comments below if you love your Neverfull, if it's a workhorse bag for you, if you have multiples of them, if you're an Empreinte person, or if you're very much canvas all the way. I'm interested, since I'm going to now go hunt one. I will be looking to you all for your reviews and thoughts. I will keep you posted on my Hermes situation, so stay tuned. And I will see you all next Friday. Bye!